What's up, everybody? It's Coach Myson Jones with Hoops University. I'm going to show you how to instantly shoot that basketball better. Like so. Go ahead and roll that intro. So I want to show you how to instantly shoot that basketball better, because look, I'm 5'9", 5'9 and a half on a good day, and I had to learn how to shoot the ball far out so I could stretch the defense. I wanted to play college basketball from a little guy, and I had to learn how to be effective when I played against the old heads, when I played against the better, stronger physical players, and that was my shot. All right, now some people have shots because they are scared to drive into the lane, but I'm not talking about that kind of shot. I'm talking about the shot that is a lethal threat, this type of shot that when the ball gets in your hands, everybody on the other team is yelling, "Shooter!" right? And they're closing out to you on your shot. That's the respect that you need to earn as a smaller guard. And I'm going to show you how to instantly get a better shot and eventually earn that respect as a shooter. I had one year where I shot 48% from the field, and I did get that shooter whenever I got the basketball, and that allowed me to start driving to the lane and creating other opportunities. So let's start with how to increase your percentage on your shots. First things first, I want to tell you about an acronym. We call it BEEF. All right, balance is for B, E is for elbows, the other E is for eyes, and the F is for fingers, in my perspective, okay? Someone may have different acronyms, but those are the most important letters for me, in my opinion. The first thing is balance, all right? So what you'll notice with a lot of shooters, if you like to shoot on your toes, is great, but the most important thing I think is to have equal distribution between the weight on your feet. So if one foot or one heel is off the ground and one is on the floor, you're gonna have an uneven distribution on your feet. That's already gonna make it a tough shot for you. So another thing that we can focus on is tilting our feet. Now, a guy at shot mechanics, Colin Costello, he talks about this all the time, having your hip lined up with that basket, which releases tension from your shoulders, something I never thought about because I used to shoot with my feet square, which is not wrong. When my feet were square, it put so much tension on my shoulders, and it had my set point a lot higher on my shot, which again is not wrong, but you have to know yourself. You have to be self-aware to realize what is most comfortable for you and your shot and what helps you make the most shots. So for me, I like to have my feet staggered and then tilted as well. So my shoulders point up that rim and my hip is lined up with that rim too. The other most important thing is making sure that you have your hips, your load to your low, and the ball all in a string. Okay, some guys get set first, then they bend down, and that just causes so much disparity in between them shooting, and it takes away a lot of power on their shot. You want the most power as possible, because when you start getting playing time, I promise you it's hard to shoot the ball from 25, 30 feet when your legs are gassed, when your legs are tired, okay? So we want to have a good load, and we want to practice releasing that basketball as our feet are coming off the ground. So either our heels or our toes are coming off the ground. We want to practice releasing that basketball so we have the most power possible on that shot. So that's the first thing, B, okay? Balance. And no matter where you're coming off a shot, if you're going right, left from a pull-up, or if you're going left, right from a pull-up, you always want to have that same setup and equal distribution on your feet. So that's B. B stood for balance. The next E we'll say is elbow, okay? So for your elbow, I typically don't like elbows out on our shots. I know we have a lot of guys these days who shoot shots with the elbows out, but I'll challenge you. Check their percentage on their shot. If they're shooting 35% from the three-point line, they may be a shooter, but that percentage is not always the best percentage to be shooting. I don't think college coaches are amazed at 35% of a three-point shooter. So first thing that I like to say is don't have a dinosaur arm to where you're too tight, but don't have a chicken wing either. Have it comfortable here. And also it helps if you have your elbow pointing at that rim instead of pointing at the ground. Okay, the elbow pointing at that rim means that you have a good extension on your shot, but if it's at the ground, that means you're gonna have a push out shot. Your shot's pushing out and it's not dropping into the rim like we want it to. Okay, so that's the other thing with elbow. The other E is eyes, and probably, in my opinion, one of the most important letters. With eyes, we always want to have an eye on our target early. If you look at Kyle Korver, you look at some of the great shooters, they're ready 2 passes in advance, and a part of that preparation is having their eyes on that rim, okay? And when we have our eyes on that rim, we want to focus on a small target, not a big target. So let's put it in perspective. If you've ever played darts or if you've ever done archery before, you don't focus on the entire circle, right? What do you focus on? The bullseye, right? You focus on the bullseye because if you aim small, you have more margin for error. You're allowed to miss big. So we want to be able to miss big. So what I like to do is focus on a small spot on the rim. So you can see on the rim, there may be a black scuff mark. There may be a rung where the net is being hung up by the rim. I want to focus on something that's so small with my dominant eye. My dominant eye is my right eye. It's usually the same eye on the strong side of your body, on your strong hand. So I want to put my right eye on that rung or a very small part of the rim early, before the ball's in my hands, before I'm ready to shoot. So when my eyes are locked on that shot, I want to keep them focused. I want to keep them locked on. And I want to find that spot and zone in, laser in on it as soon as possible. Okay? And F, the last letter, is fingers. So the fingers on my shot, some guys, when they have their set point right before they release the basketball, some guys have it right here on their chin, some guys have it on their eyebrow, some guys have it a little bit higher. And I actually block my vision temporarily on my shot. Guys like Damian Lillard do the same thing. A lot of great shooters do that as well. If you don't like that, then it's fine. The ball, if it's on the side of your head, I have a guy who I'm training right now, the ball's on the side of his face. Only thing that I ask for him is make sure his fingers are pointing inside that rim. It's like your fingers are trying to dip into that cookie jar. You always want your fingers pointing inside that rim, okay? So for me, earlier into the shot, I like to have my index finger and my middle finger come through my eye, which is focusing on that small bullseye. All right, so when I'm shooting that ball and my fingers, these two fingers are coming up, this gap between my fingers are coming through my eye. When they come through my eye, I know I'm already on target, and now I can put those fingers in that rim. Now here's something really interesting, what I've been studying and noticing. If you shoot the ball is shot, you may miss the shot, but your fingers are still pointing in that rim, okay? Now that speaks to the point that if you have the ball and you miss this point, if you miss this point between your eyes and your fingers are pointing this way, they're pointing to the left, they're not exactly going, the gap's not going through your eyes, you're probably going to miss a shot even if you do have your fingers pointing in that rim. So both points of fingers are important here before the release and then after the release on the follow through. All right, so here's a drill that you can do before or after your workouts to really practice that concept of beef, okay? So what I like to do is stand in front of the rim. You've probably seen this before, but I want you to really focus on making sure that your form is perfect. Don't worry about making or missing a shot. You focus on the form, the shot takes care of itself. So I want to work on beef, say those numbers, or say those letters to myself in my head before I shoot to keep myself accountable. So I'm thinking balance, elbow, eyes, follow through. I want to check my shot afterwards, hold it for 2 seconds so I can analyze my shot and audit it. Once I make it, I'll take a baby step back, balance, elbow, eyes, follow through. All right, hold it, make sure my fingers are pointing inside that goal, make sure they pass through my eye, which is on the target. Balance, elbow, eyes, follow through. Got it? Every shot we make, we're going to take a baby step back until we get to that point where we're throwing the ball instead of shooting the basketball. Now, the important thing here is to make sure that we are releasing that basketball as our feet are coming off the ground. We want to make sure that we have the best amount of leverage, the most energy and power coming through our shot. Now, if you feel like it's off, make sure you focus on the B first. So these numbers or these letters are in sequential order of, in my perspective, importance, okay? So first is the feet. You can't shoot if you have bad footwork, okay? So make sure you're starting with the balance first. So I'm saying to myself, balance, elbows, eyes, follow through, making that shot, cash money. Keep working on that. Let us know in the comments below if you have any questions. I'm here to help you guys. I'm going to be engaging with you. All right, check us out on the next video.
I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah.